Colorado forward Tristan Da Silva might already be 23 years old at the time of the NBA draft, but his unique skill set in combination with shooting for his size will make him an intriguing prospect in the first round for a number of teams, including the Toronto Raptors. Let's get into it. Definitely a player on the older side of the 2024 NBA draft class, but there is very good reason why he's not only getting first round considerations, but there's even potential for him to sneak into the latter stages of the lottery for just a unique amount of skill you get for a player of this size, and there's always going to be a need for size and shooting in the NBA, and that's definitely something the Raptors could want to take advantage of as well with the 19th overall pick this season. So over the course of this video, we're going to cover everything that you need to know about Tristan Da Silva, from who he is to his college stats. Then we're going to talk about his strengths, his weaknesses, give a player comparable before trying to figure out if this would be a good move for the Raptors to go in his direction with their 19th overall pick once again. But this is Amateur Hour Sports, the YouTube channel dedicated to Toronto Raptors content in streams and in videos just like this. Drop a like if you enjoyed this one along the way, and subscribe to the channel for more, especially as we get closer to that NBA draft. So Tristan Da Silva, like I said, he's already going to be 23 years old when his name is called on draft night, but the wide expectation is that that is going to be in the first round of the draft, when there might have been some sort of thoughts that that would be maybe an early second round pick for Da Silva. Firmly with his skill set, he is going to be in the first round, and like I said, he may go earlier than some people would expect. He's got good size for his position. He's 6'9" with shoes, and he's got a 6'10" wingspan. It's actually just above 6'10". Played again with Colorado. Played a number of years of college basketball, but he's a polished player, ready to participate in meaningful NBA minutes from day one, and that is something that teams could want to take advantage of. And the big thing that teams are going to be wanting to look at for the player is absolutely the shooting numbers here. We see his stats, filled it up scoring-wise with 16 points per game, but the efficiency, .492 for a field goal percentage and just under 40% from three, also taking 5 attempts per game. Like, here's a guy who let it fly from three and made a very good percentage of them. That is going to be something that puts him on a number of NBA teams' radars. Had an effective field goal percentage of 57%, and just to go with all these great numbers, had over 5 rebounds per game, 2.4 assists per game to go with it. So naturally, you can see some things that you would be interested in with Tristan Da Silva. But for the player, his abilities go a bit beyond the stat sheet here. Honestly, I really wanted to make a video here talking about a number of forwards here, but I became such a fan of Tristan Da Silva that I wanted to make a video just for him, because I think this would be a very good look for the Raptors for a number of reasons here, as we see. Number one is the shooting. That's the most interesting thing for Tristan Da Silva. That is his biggest strength, but he has such a great sense for the game overall. He is a very good decision maker, especially out of high post situations, but also in the perimeter passing. He can make basically any pass on the floor. Colorado really like to utilize this skill set in zone defense situations where they're playing against the zone defense to just pick it apart, find the open seams, find the open player. So when he is on ball, he can make the right decisions, but ultimately, I think Tristan Da Silva, the way he is going to fit for an NBA team, and I think that's why he's getting those late lottery considerations, earlier first round considerations, because good teams want to plug and play this guy, get him in right away because of his overall sense for the game, passing, shooting. And when you talk about scaling down a role, your ability to find those high percentage shots, those highly efficient shots, that's coming from three, which we know he's a good three-point shooter on high volume, and that's from getting to the rim. Cutting to the rim, getting a full head of steam, and finishing on the inside. Can finish with both hands in those areas. And once again, this is overall a polished player, but he does bring a good level overall on the defensive end of the floor as well. He has good defensive quickness. Not great, but good defensive quickness. He's good at reading off the ball. He's not an elite defender by any means whatsoever, but he's definitely a fine defender for the NBA level. Another thing that teams are going to be looking for. This leaves you with somebody who has an overall fantastic sense for the game of basketball, has the tools to play a specific role for your team, and that gives you a high floor and somebody who's ready to play from day one. But there is a lack of upside when you talk about the age, when you talk about the explosiveness and athleticism. And that's what we're going to break down here with the weaknesses for the player. This is not somebody you're drafting because you feel as though he's got this monstrous ceiling. You are drafting this guy for a specific role. You want shooting, You want cutting to the rim, off-ball offense. You want good decision-making to keep the ball ticking, to keep the plays moving on the offensive end, and somebody who can hold his own defensively. This is what you're looking for in Tristan Da Silva. So when we look at the weaknesses here, yeah, like this stuff is mostly fine. Like rebounding could stand to improve. I get it. Creation off the dribble, precision handling could stand to improve. And he's got a low ceiling, but that's not what you're really drafting this guy for. What you can work on to improve for the NBA level is his overall physicality and his overall strengths, just to hold his own in bigger situations. He's listed as a forward who can play as a 3 or a 4. Right now, a little bit more suited to play as a 3. I think if he bulks up a little bit, which you have to question because he is already 23 years old, but you can get him on a strength building program at the NBA level. He'll have a much better ability, be much better equipped to play as not only a small forward in the NBA, but as a power forward and defend those positions as well. And honestly, if he bulks up enough, probably has some stretch 5 potential that teams could want to take advantage of 100%. So overall, the type of player you're getting here, what's a good NBA player comparable that we have here? I saw Cam Johnson is a decent one. There's shades of that here, but I think that a more athletic and more mobile Maxi Kleber is the direction I am going to be going here. A very good shooter in multiple situations. Can be catch and shoot, can be movement shooting. No, not coming off of a full sprint, but good at setting his feet, good at moving into his position to knock down that 3-ball shot, good at getting to the rim and finishing on the inside, and a solid defender who can defend a few positions, has versatility to play multiple positions, as I said, whether that be on the defensive end or also that could be on the offensive end. And it's just every team needs a type of player. When Maxi Kleber is healthy, he hasn't been healthy a lot this season for the Dallas Mavericks, he can be an important piece for that team. I think Tristan Da Silva can be an important piece for a number of teams for having the skill set you need. Teams in the NBA, I just can't see a reality where you're not going to need size, shooting, and defense. These are the traits that he can bring to the floor that will fit into an NBA team right away that a number of teams would have the potential to be interested in. But is this enough for the Raptors to go ahead and look at him with the 19th overall pick, especially in their current situation? You know, you look at teams like the Orlando Magic, even potentially a team like the Philadelphia 76ers or an Oklahoma City Thunder, who will want a player to step in right away and be effective in the shooting department, the defensive department, playing that specific role for the team. Is that enough for the Raptors, who are in this more so rebuild phase, who may want to go for a player with a bit higher upside? Well, that could be a direction the Raptors choose to go here, but also I feel as though they've got talent here. Look, it's not the top-end talent necessarily quite yet. Could it get there potentially? But I don't think that this is the draft to potentially go chasing for that player. I think there's a number of good options with high upside the Raptors could look for in that 19th overall position, but the bottom line is this is a talented player who has the skill set to have a long and prosperous NBA career because he's just got the specific skills that NBA teams are looking for, and you have the ability to bring him into your team potentially with that 19th overall pick. A lot of people are starting to put Tristan Da Silva higher and higher on their mock boards, and I have to really agree with that. This would be a great pick for the Raptors. Not sure this is going to be top of my list as far as the potential players they could select at 19th overall, but he's definitely going to be quite high on that list, and I think this would be a very smart pick for the Raptors to fit into the team and really bring in that shooting and defense that they didn't have last season. Great overall move. If the Raptors don't want to bet on upside and want somebody who fits in right away, we'll see what direction they go with at the NBA draft. But what do you make of Tristan Da Silva? Are you a fan of the prospect? Give me all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, because that's all for me for today on Amateur Hour Sports. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and I'll see you again next time for another video.